Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here with a 100% full game walkthrough for The Journey Down. This is Chapter 1, available for $10 US or your regional equivalent, starting at the beginning of June. There's also a Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 of this game, but they're only available in a bundle and they cost significantly more. I don't currently have plans to cover Chapter 2 or 3, however, each game has its own separate list for 1000 Gamerscore. This game is also available on PlayStation, but does not offer a Platinum trophy. Now, in this video, I'll be showing you all 14 achievements or trophies. One of them does include a full speedrun of the game in under 40 minutes. My run is exactly 36 minutes. And I don't think I rush it too crazy, so I think most people should be able to do it on their first playthrough. However, if not, just do a second playthrough, it'll take another 40 minutes, and you should be good to go with your completion. This is a point-and-click adventure game, and I'd like to go over the controls before we get started with the gameplay. You can press B to skip any cinematic, you can mash the A button to skip any dialogue, you interact with items using the A button, and you can look through your inventory with the Y button. The only other control I would recommend is that using your cursor while holding the right trigger will allow you to move your cursor more quickly. Let's just jump into it by pressing New Game. As soon as the game starts, press B to skip the cinematic and mash the A button to skip the dialogue as quickly as possible. Once you're done with the dialogue, you'll be able to click on the contract piece of paper in the middle of the screen. If you click fast enough, it'll all kind of happen in one go, and you'll pull off the lid. Now what you'll want to do is go through each of the brackets individually and unhook them. There's one in each corner. After unhooking all 4 brackets, you can interact with the hatch, which is the large middle piece, and it'll open it up. Keep mashing the A button to skip as much dialogue as possible, and then pull the switch in order to restore the power. Once the power is restored, you can press B in order to skip the cinematic, and then mash the A button to go through as much dialogue as quickly as possible. Keep mashing the A button to get through all of the dialogue until you are inside of a small shop.
Oh my! What's up?
Now just keep talking to the woman in the green until she moves over, and once she does, you'll spot a cupboard behind her. Go and interact with the cupboard in order to find the stale breadsticks. Now, because they're so stale, you can't eat them. Instead, you want to cycle to them using the left and right bumper, and then use them to interact with the ladder in order to make small little steps so you can then climb the ladder. Yes, this game is that ridiculous. Next, you want to select the ladder with the red arrow. Whenever you see a red arrow, that means you're changing from one scene to another. This one, for example, brings you upstairs. Now just mash the A button to go through the dialogue as quickly as possible until you're free to select things in the room. Now, if you mash the A button a little too much, like I'm doing on screen right now, you end up selecting things instead of skipping dialogue, so watch out you don't get in a bad loop of that. But you want to select the dresser by the main character in order for him to find a blue shirt. Then you'll want to look into the kind of fireplace and you'll find a paintbrush. Then you'll want to look on the dresser and click the photo. Interact with the photo until it goes through the dialogue, and then exit the photo by using the red arrow in the bottom right corner. You should unlock your first achievement or trophy right here. Now you want to interact with the bed, which will have your character sit in the bed, skipping all the dialogue as quickly as possible, and skipping any cutscenes that do come up.
Yes. You spend what for? Oh.
Now that we're back in the charter, she'll try to use the phone, but the phone will be broken, and we will be given a small puzzle on how to fix it. The solution for this puzzle is to rotate the middle circle 1 time, then rotate the right circle 3 times, And then for the numbers, put in 450. Once you do that, it will automatically complete the puzzle, and she'll be able to make the call now.
That's it.
Hello, Professor. Calm down. What?
At this point, you pretty much want to mash the A button until you're done with all the dialogues and you have control of your character on top of your boat.
Here she is, a precious airplane. Come on. What?
Yeah, but can
I do. That great.
A couple of mini, tiny touch-ups.
Yeah. What are we missing?
Well,
Oh
and we
no, you get
okay.
a pair of engines, a propeller.
Now, once you have the option to, you want to use the red arrow to go down and into the boat. Once inside, interact with the hatch near the middle of the screen, and then pick up the wrench inside of this hatch. Now you'll want to go to the right-hand side through the door. I accidentally interacted with the cactus, but go through the door, and then you'll want to interact with the hanging net on the left of the screen in order to grab that into your inventory as well. Once the net is down, interact with the 3 photos underneath the Gasmaster sign and interact with each one individually, going through the dialogue for each photo at least one time in order to unlock an achievement or trophy. You can then go to the bottom right of the screen to exit this page, go through the door we came out of, and then use the ladder on the left of the screen to leave the boat. Once you leave the boat, you want to go back into the charter, which is the main building there, and interact with the photo in the top right-hand corner. Interact with the photo once you're actually like on it, and then you'll unlock an achievement or trophy, and then you can back out of the screen and go to the fridge near the top left. Inside of the fridge, you will find a piece of cheese that will be added to your inventory, and then you can leave the charter by going down and to the right. You'll then want to go down and to the right again in order to get to the power box screen, and then you'll want to use the paintbrush on the paint bucket nearby. This will put white paint on our paintbrush, which we'll need to use 2 times later on in the game. However, once that's ready, we're ready to go to the next screen by clicking on the far right hand side in order to transition scenes. Once in the next scene, talk to the nearby sailors and mash the A button until you're given a dialogue option. On this option screen, you'll need to select the second option, which is how is the stew tonight, in order for them to talk about it, because that's data we need for later on in the game. Now that they've told you about the stew, they should give you a chili, and on the next dialogue option, you can say never mind, and that'll allow you to leave. Next, you want to talk to the fishing guy on the very far right hand side of the screen. His name is Matoki. You'll also want to talk to him until you have a dialogue option, and when that box comes up, you want to select talk to you later, Matoki, I gotta run, as we don't want to waste time talking to him about stuff we don't need to know about. At this point, we're ready to leave by clicking left on the screen. On the next scene, click all the way left again. On this screen, we want to go down underneath the gas sign near the bottom left of the screen using the boat, which we'll walk across. Once here, we want to select the cheese and then use it on the float inside of the water near the edge of the kind of beam there. Your character will automatically walk over, put the cheese on the float, and then walk back. At this point, the rat will come and face dive into the cheese, getting stuck. And we now have to go back to Matoki. So exit the screen by going left. Select the bottom right corner here in order to walk back to where we were, which is the power box. From the power box, go all the way to the right. and now talk to Motoki. You'll have quite a lot of dialogue you can mash through, but essentially he's going to reel in that mouse or the rat, and he's terrified of rats, so he's actually going to give you his fishing rod because he no longer wants it. The only bad part is that the rat ran away with the hook, so we'll need to find a new hook.
Oh no. Oh.
Once you receive the fishing rod, you'll unlock an achievement or trophy just for progression, and then you're ready to go to the left of the screen, returning to the power box. Once at the power box, you'll want to go up and through the middle, and then interact with the garbage can near the bottom of the screen in order to find a hook. At this point, we'll need to do our first combination. So press Y to go into your inventory, select the hook, and then swipe it over the fishing rod to combine the two and make a fishing rod with a hook. Now inspect the graffiti next to the elevator and read it in order to unlock a missable achievement or trophy for finding the graffiti. After that, move forward by going through the lit door in the background in order to find the captain, which you will want to talk to. You'll need to select the first option in the dialogue options to let him know you're the new deckhand. Mashing A will do this kind of automatically. He'll ask you for the password. Just pick any of the three options, and he'll tell you that you don't know the password, so that he doesn't believe you, and you'll have to come back once you know it. Right after that conversation, select the fishing rod in your inventory and use the fishing rod on the buoy in the water. This will allow you to bring the buoy in to like the little shore you're standing on. And as soon as you're able to, you want to interact with the buoy on its own in order to bring the buoy closer to you out of the water.
That won't help.
Once the buoy is more or less out of the water, you should notice like a cage of crabs, and then you can interact with that using your net in order to get one of the crabs out of the cage. And now you can go to the left of the screen to exit this scene. Once at this screen, go kind of up and to the left through the doorway, which will get you back to the power box. At the power box, go to the right. Once at this screen, talk to the sailors again. And upon talking to the sailors, you should say, "What ship are you guys on?"
We're on. Oh, cuts. But ship.
And once you're given the next dialogue option, you should say, "I'm the new deckhand on the ship, but I'm not sure what the password is." And they'll tell you you need the right clothes. So say, "Never mind," and then go into your inventory and combine the white paintbrush with the shirt in order to paint a sailor uniform. Now present the sailor uniform to the sailors in order to convince them that you are actually an employee.
What you think about this, man?
So you.
At this point, they should tell you the password.
I know. Good.
Next, what you want to do is use those bumpers to select the crabs in the net and use that to interact with the dog on the ground named Rufus, and he'll move out of the doorway, which we'll need later. You're now ready to go to the left of the screen, back to the power box. Once at the power box, you want to go all the way to the left. And then you'll want to go into the charter building. Once in here, you will want to use the fishing rod on the fan, which is on the ceiling. Skip the cutscene and you will be given a propeller, however, it's broken.
Oh man, it must have snapped.
Now you want to exit the scene by leaving from the bottom right and go to the bottom right again to end up at the power box, going up and through the door in the middle, and then continuing up and through the door near the middle again. Once here, you want to talk to the dockmaster and you'll let him know that you now know the password. He'll believe that you're a sailor, so you'll give him the uniform and he will actually give you a mop. And the mop will be an item we use later on in the game automatically. Once we're done having the conversation with him though, We should be able to interact with the door behind him in order to gain access to the ship. There will be a dialogue option at some point, however, just say see you later and go through the door.
See you later.
Hi.
Once on this screen, we'll want to interact with the gas canister near the bottom right corner, and we'll have to be somewhat quick on these next couple of steps. However, there is enough time if you make some small mistakes. Once you interact with the gas canister, go to the right of the screen to change scenes, then use your wrench on the panel on the left in order to unscrew the nut. Then you'll want to put the propeller that's broken onto the nut, and then the welder will gain her consciousness back and she will weld your propeller back together. Even though you tricked her, she ends up not really caring, and you just take your propeller back and then you can leave on the left of the screen. And then near the middle, you'll see some switches. Just keep interacting with them and mashing the A button until your character gets frustrated and kicks the control panel, which will then allow you to go up the ladder.
Looks
Once you click up on the ladder, it should start a cutscene, and this cutscene will replay every time you use the ladder. It's very important that you skip it in order to save time.
cool now.
Once you do skip that little cutscene, you'll notice your character near the top left, and he's going to be coming down off the hook and then jumping onto the boat.
Here goes.
Once on the boat, interact with the door on the right, which is the door to the kitchen. Once inside the kitchen, the chef will throw the knife at you and you'll leave. Just re-enter the door again right away, and then skip through all of the dialogue options.
Oh, I wish. Oh,
Now interact with the chef, whose name is Sabo. He'll let you know that his stew doesn't really taste right, and if maybe you'll be able to fix it or something. So you let him know that you know someone who will help out, and you'll help him fix his stew. So once this kind of finishes, you can leave using the door behind you, and then exit the boat using the bottom right-hand corner stairs. Skip the cutscene, go down the steps, exit through the left of the screen, go through the gate in order to end up back at the power box. Then go to the right in order to end up near the kind of dock area where everyone's eating. You should now try to go into the kitchen using the door. That would be blocked by the dog. However, we use the crabs in the net to scare the dog off, so we can now enter. Once we enter, we want to basically just mash A to go through some of the dialogue options. Then we want to click on the wheel near the top left of the screen, and we will be given the wheel. Now we want to talk to the chef again here and say, "What's your trick? Why is your stew so good?" And she will give you a spice container as well as the secret ingredient list for her stew. We now have to create her secret recipe. I accidentally asked her how is her business. However, what we want to do is on the dialogue option, we just want to say, "See you later."
No worry, we got it.
I hope so. If you be careful.
Once done talking to her, you want to exit through the door on the left of the screen. At this point, you want to bring up your inventory and put the chilies into the spice container.
In you go, little chilies.
We will have some leftover chilies, which we'll need later though, so that's good. And then go to the left. Once at this screen, go all the way to the left to make your way back to the dock. Once here, go down and underneath that gas sign again where we caught the rat with the cheese. And interact with the oil tap on the left of the screen in order to put oil into the spice container. Now we want to take the fishing rod and interact with the water in order to catch a small fish. Once we have the fish, combine the fish and the chili in your inventory.
Ooh, there's so.
And we can now leave this screen by going back up the stairs. Once here, go into the charter building. Inside the charter building, interact with the small blue mug near the cash register on the right of the screen to find some lemon. Now you'll want to use the ladder in order to go upstairs. Once upstairs, interact with the books behind the main character in order to find some herb, which we'll also need for the recipe. We can then climb back down the ladder. Then you'll want to exit this building, go down and to the right in order to get to the power box, go up through the gate, then go up again through the door to get to the boat area. Now go past the captain all the way to the right of the screen. And what we'll want to do is use the fish with the chili in order to interact with the pelican sitting on the forklift, and the pelican will die. Skip the cutscene to make it go a little bit faster though. Now use the wrench, and use the wrench on the lever of the forklift in order to bring the forklift down. Inside of the nest, we should be able to find a metal rod, which we'll want to pick up. Next to that metal rod, there is a box with salt in it. Make sure you interact with that in order to put that into your spice container. And then we want to go back to the left and go inside of the boat again, climbing up the ladder and skipping the cutscene when possible. Once on the boat, go into the kitchen using the door on the right, and then go into the freezer, which is the white door in the back of the room. Once inside the freezer, interact with the bottom right-hand freezer door. That will find ginger for you. After finding the ginger, pick up the gum on the ground. Now go into your inventory and combine the ginger with your spice container. This should complete the recipe and unlock an achievement. Now what you'll want to do is grab your gum and then interact with the left button in order to make it stick down. Now interact with the knob near the top middle and interact with the right button, which is kind of behind your character. This will unfreeze the freezer door, allowing you to leave now. Once you leave, you want to use the spice container on the chef's stew pot. The chef will now try the stew with your new recipe, and he will absolutely love it. So just skip all of the dialogue options as quickly as possible to get through this, quite quickly. Once at the end of this little scene, he will bring out his small canapes, which is a fancy word for small sandwiches. However, they are all burnt. So he needs new toast for his sandwiches. So you'll go back to the freezer And now you'll interact with the top left freezer door in order to find some frozen toast. You will now need to turn off the right button and turn on the middle button. This will make the kind of radiator near the freezer door very hot. Stick your toast inside of the radiator in order to toast it. Once they pop up, you want to pick them up. Now switch the switches back to their original state. So turn off the middle button, turn on the right button. This will allow you to leave the freezer door. And now you want to select your toast and interact with the chef using the toast in order for him to make new sandwiches.
Relax. Fresh.
Once he makes new sandwiches, he will present them on a platter and you can now pick them up. They will go into your inventory and you want to leave the kitchen.
No.
Now you want to select the canapes and present them to the concierge man in order for him to let you onto the boat. This starts a couple of dialogue things you want to just mash your way through in order to get into the room. The guy with the white blazer jacket will now eat all of your canapes. Once he does that, you want to leave in from the door you took, so the one right kind of behind you, and go back into the kitchen. Once inside the kitchen, you will have a new tray of canapes, which you'll want to pick up and put into your inventory. And now you'll want to go back into the hallway. Go into your inventory and combine the white paintbrush with the sandwiches. This will paint them a different color so that the hungry man won't eat them.
Hopefully that'll stop the hungry man from eating.
So now we can go through the door again, forward into the kind of dining hall. The hungry man won't want the sandwiches, so after we talk to him, we can now go through the door on the far right-hand side of the room. And there will be some new people standing here. Just mash the A button to get through this dialogue as quickly as possible. And when you can, interact with the door near the bottom right of the screen. You're not supposed to go in there, but you'll go anyways, and then the guy will chase you down. So automatically your character will lock the door behind them using the mop. After locking the door behind you, interact with the switchboard that's kind of next to your character. It's the large black square, and there is a puzzle that you'll have to complete in under 3 minutes in order to unlock an achievement or trophy. I think it takes me around 40 seconds, and it's a simple puzzle where you have to match all of the, pipes in order to get everything connected. It might actually be easier if you just go to the solution at the end of this puzzle and then try to match the solution instead of going and trying to follow along with me move by move. After completing the puzzle in under 3 minutes, you'll unlock the That Was Fast as Lightning achievement / trophy for doing the puzzle in under 3 minutes. You'll then want to interact with the button next to the door in order to activate the crane, which will lift the engines out of the engine room. Press A through the dialogue when possible, and then use B in order to skip the cutscene when it does come up. At this point, you want to talk to Kiddo in order to just get, through all of the options there, and you'll get an achievement or trophy. You'll then want to go through your inventory and present him with the propeller. He will put the propeller onto the plane, and that'll grab you another achievement or trophy. Then you'll want to go down and into the plane. Use the metal rod in order to interact with the hole in the dashboard. After doing that, use the fisherman's wheel to interact with the metal rod in order to put a steering wheel onto your boat.
Oh boy.
This will unlock yet another achievement or trophy.
You're certain.
Still
You should get a cutscene that you should skip now. After skipping it, exhaust all of the dialogue options,
I'll just
and then go back down into the plane. I think I've called it a boat a few times. It's technically a plane, but I guess it's both. I don't know. Anyways, go to the right-hand side. There will be a winch behind your character, which you will want to interact with. There will be a broken piece, which you will take off automatically. You'll then want to exit using the right, and then go up the ladder. Once here, go down and to the right to end up back at the power box. Once at the power box, go up through the gate. Then go up into the large boat. Then go into the boat in order to end up at the foot of the ladder. Then go to the right to talk to the welder. The welder has an access card we need, but we need to kind of be friends with her first. So talk to her and she'll mention that she needs coffee. So we're going to go and grab her some coffee. So leave this area and then go down the steps. Go to the left of the screen to go back to the kind of hub station there with a ladder, and then go up and through the gate to the left. Once at the power box, go to the right. Once here, you want to talk to the man at the diner who is drinking coffee. He'll mention that he only likes strong coffee. So what we're going to do is interact with the pipe behind the main character, which will slide the pipe over to the right. Next, what you want to do is get your wrench and interact using your wrench with that pipe. And that will turn the bottom of the pipe and make the water drip into that guy's coffee. Eventually, he'll get mad that his coffee isn't strong enough and he'll order a new coffee. After he orders a new coffee, you'll get this small kind of cutscene that it's brewing that we can't skip, but we should now be able to get into the diner. Once in the diner, interact with the coffee and you'll just grab the whole thing. After grabbing it, just leave. Go to the left. And we're going to make our way back to the welder. So once here, go up through the middle, then go up through the middle again. Once near the large boat, you'll want to enter the boat. Once you enter, you want to go to the right to talk to the welder. And then select the coffee from your inventory and give it to the welder. This will allow her to continue her job, and she'll now allow you to take her access card when you interact with it. That will add the access card to your inventory. At this point, you want to leave, go to the left, and then go down the steps that we came from. Once here, you want to go to the left again. Once here, you want to use the access card and interact with the card terminal next to the elevator, which will open it up and allow us to type in the password. The password is 3257, and that'll allow you to enter the elevator. Once the elevator is open, you'll want to obviously go inside. Once inside, you want to click on the arrow to go up. This will start a small little cutscene that we cannot skip, showing that a train goes by here every now and again. Now, once we gain control of our character, we actually want to go back into the elevator and then click down. However, we want to stop the elevator once the panel in the background lines up with the window so that we can see all 4 of the screws or bolts in the back. And at that point, we want to turn the bolts in order for them to line up with the pattern on the back plate. Once you turn all of the bolts and they line up, you can now push the plate out of this little section and climb through.
Sabotage.
Upon climbing through, you can select the broken winch piece from your inventory and put it onto the train tracks. The train will now come and run over it, straightening it out. Pick up your newly straightened winch piece, unlocking an achievement or trophy, and then exiting down and behind your character to get back into the elevator, pressing down to reach the bottom. Once at the bottom, exit the elevator to the right, and then go through the gate on the left to go back to the little control panel. Once at the control panel, go to the left to go to your airplane. And then select your airplane to actually go inside of it. Once inside, select the door on the right, and then use your newly straightened winch piece on the winch behind you. Once attached, just interact with the winch again in order to raise the anchor, which will trigger a cinematic that you want to skip, and that will be the game completed. If you did it in under 40 minutes, you'll unlock 2 achievements at this point, or trophies, one for completing the game and one for doing it in under 40 minutes. If you open up your achievements or trophies, you should have everything done. If you did miss something, you might need to restart the game and do it in under 40 minutes. Find one of the photo collectibles that you didn't pick up along the video, or maybe the pipe puzzle took you longer than 3 minutes, for example. Nonetheless, hopefully this video was helpful. Appreciate you guys for watching it. Drop a like if it was helpful. It's super helpful to me if you do drop a like or share the video with a friend. An incredibly big special thanks to everyone on Patreon who does help support the show. Without Patreon, videos like this probably they wouldn't happen. Let's be honest about the situation. Most people aren't playing The Journey Down Chapter 1 for Gamerscore. That is a realistic expectation, I think. So videos like this, they do take a while. Not a lot of people watch them. So Patreon kind of helps me, not skip videos like this just because people don't watch them. Nonetheless, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I see you guys next time. Peace.